Hey scholars! Alright, so as I said earlier, we are going to be moving on to some new concepts in math, and the concept that we are going to be working on today can be found in Eureka Math, that's what we do, grade 5, module 4, lesson 26. So the last one we had gotten to in class was lesson 25, this is lesson 26. The reason that I have this posted up here is because there are actually some really wonderful resources you can find online, on YouTube, that might help you with this. So if you go to YouTube and you type this in, you might find some really, really helpful videos. So I highly recommend you checking those out, all right? So what is our objective for the day? We are going to learn how to divide a fraction by a whole number. So that is similar to what we had done in lesson 25 when we divided a whole number by a fraction, but in this case we're going to be dividing a fraction by a whole number. So we're going to start with a word problem, an application problem. Victoria's mom bakes a pan of brownies. She tells Victoria that her and her 3 sisters can share half of the pan of brownies. How much of the whole pan will each sister get? So let's go through and let's figure out what information we need. So we know that Victoria's mom made 1 full pan of brownies. She made a whole pan. And she tells Victoria that her and her 3 sisters, so how many people is that total? That's 4 people total, right? That's the number of groups that we're going to have, can share half of the pan. So what are we dividing? We're dividing 1/2 of a pan of brownies, and we're going to divide it by 4 people. So we have a half divided by 4. So what would this look like as a picture? So if I have this tape diagram and I figure out how to make it the right color, there we go. It's a yellow pan of brownies, that's weird. Let's make it this nice chocolate color, all right? So how much does Victoria's mom say that her and her sisters can share? She says they can share half of the pan. So, not what I wanted to do, sorry y'all. So, I'm going to take this pan and I'm going to cut it in half as soon as I figure out what's going on with there we go. I'm going to cut this pan in half, all right? So now, what piece am I using? I'm using just this 1/2 of the whole. And I need to break it into the 4 parts, the 4 sisters. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and there's 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the question is, how much of the whole pan is each sister going to get? Because when I'm working with fractions, if I divided this part into fourths, I also need to divide this part into fourths. So I can figure out how much of the whole pan did each sister get. Now remember that this here, that's going to be 1 sister, that's going to be 1 sister, that's going to be 1 sister, and that's going to be 1 sister. So let's say how much did Victoria get? Well, Victoria, she got this piece. So she got this 1 piece out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because remember, it's of the whole pan. So if I had a half and I divided into 4, how much is 1 piece going to be? It's going to be 1/8 of the whole pan, right? So again, what I did there is I started by taking my whole brownie, I cut it in half for this half, right? There's where I cut it in half. And then I divided this 1/2, I divided it into 4. I went 1, 2, 3, 4. And because I did it to this side, I'm also going to do it to this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I need to figure out how much will each sister get. So let's just take Victoria, for example. If this is Victoria's piece, let's say that this is Kimberly's piece. Okay, I Kimberly. Let's say that this is Karen's piece, right? See where I'm going with this? So if each sister gets one piece, then Victoria's getting 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kimberly is going to get 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I have a 1/2, I divide it by 4, I'm going to get 1/8. All right, so let's look at a few more of these. So here I have 1/2 divided by 3. So here what I'm going to do, again, I will draw, so I didn't like the way that last thing happened. I'm going to draw a half, which means I'm going to start with a whole, and the half that I care about is going to be this half, right? This is the half that I care about. So this is my half, right? And then I need to divide it by, which of these works? By 3, right? So I need to take this and I need a 1, 2, and 3. So now I care about just this one, right? I took a half, I divided it by 3. What is one piece of that, right? So remember, because I did it on this side, I need to do it on this side too. 1 piece out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 1, that's my numerator, what I care about, out of how much is made up, does one whole make up, or makes up one whole, is 6 pieces. So it's 1 out of 6. All right, let's look at this next one. This one says 1/5 divided by 2. So here it was 1/2, which means my whole was going to be broken into halves, into 2 pieces. Since this is 1/5, I'm going to draw a tape diagram. I'm going to draw a better tape diagram, and then I'm going to ask you all to think for a second, what am I going to cut my tape diagram into? Remembering that my fifths is my groups, right? So I will cut it into 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it's 1/5, right? So I only have one of these right now. Actually, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to show that this is the one that we care about, right? This 1/5. And what am I going to do with this 1/5? How many pieces am I going to break it up into? I'm going to break it up into 2 pieces because that's what my number here tells me. It tells me that every 1/5 is going to get broken up into 2. So here is my 1/5, and I'm breaking it into 2 pieces. And because I did that here, same here. 1, and I can even go all the way down the line, right? 1, 2, and now the question is, how much would this one piece here, right? The one piece of 1/5, how much would that be out of the whole thing? So it's 1, because that's how much is shaded in, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it will be 1/10, because now it's 1 out of 10. I had 1/5. I broke each fifth into 2. So my new number of groups for one whole is 10. And I care about just the one piece. Okay, so let's work on this last one down here. I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to just move it here so that we can use this space. All right, but the number, it doesn't matter where it is in our tape diagram. So in this last one, the number that I start with is what? 1/4. Thank you, class. 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And then how much, this is the 1/4 that I started with. Let's focus on this one, right? How much am I breaking this fourth into? Just do orange. I'm breaking it into 3 because that's what this tells me. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. And because I did it here, exactly right, I need to do it for my others as well. And then the question becomes, well, how much is, I had 1/4, that was this. This was, ooh, this was my 1/4. Then I broke it into 3. So how much is just one of these? 1 out of how many? It's 1 out of 12. So that lets me know that when I am dividing 1/4 divided by 3, I will get 1/12. So what I would like you to do, I want you to watch this video. I'm going to post it on YouTube. The link will be available in our Google Classroom. And then I would like you to tell me, what pattern do you notice here? What pattern do you notice in what we're doing? All right, and I want you to go to Zern, and I want you to do Zern. No, you can't get to that Zern yet. We'll get to this Zern lesson eventually. I'll probably let you go to this one next week. But I would like you, in the comments section of this link, I want you, in our Google Classroom, I want you to tell me, what would 1/4 divided by what would 1/4 divided by 2 be? 1/4 divided by 2 would equal blank. Please figure that one out and post your answer in our Google Classroom. All right, class, I love you very much. I miss you. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you later with another video. All right, bye, y'all.